little bit more of a discussion of it. But yeah, it looks interesting, and I thought we'll just have to see how everything pans out with that.
Yeah. Because
Sounds
I
like
was thinking of picking up a copy too here at some point. Yeah. Get on the list
well,
for that.
yep, they've got the Kickstarter.
Hmm.
Well, it's not Kickstarter, but it's on GameFound,
Yeah.
and I think that's going
Same
for.
kind of concept, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing as Kickstarter, but from what I understand, it's geared just for like board games. Um, and miniatures or whatever else. So right now on Kickstarter, I mean, you could go there and they've got everything. You know, you want a flashlight that can turn into a Swiss Army knife and then can turn into an egg beater. You'll find that on Kickstarter. But trying to find, games or whatever else is harder. So I think this Game Found website is trying to solve that problem by having a place specifically for board games and new games to kind of get their kickstart on that system instead of kind of getting lost in the shuffle at Kickstarter.
Yeah, I was wondering what the motivation was.
Yeah, that seems to be the raison d'entrée for GameFound. And I've got a friend of mine. He's in his mid to late 20s, just plays a ton of board games, and so he was the one who said that GameFound seems to be that's the reason why it got started was because it was just so easy to kind of get lost in the shuffle with Kickstarter. So
Interesting.
yeah,
Interesting. I mean, the experience of using it is all but identical. I mean, they pretty much copied everything about it. I don't know if that's really all it is. Is just you as a publisher, you just want to make sure you get seen. That makes sense.
yeah, I think that's it. As far as the user experience, I didn't find any difference
Mm,
ordering the game on GameFound than I did on Kickstarter, and it has
right.
the same kind of things where it has, if we get a certain amount of money backing it, then that will
Oh,
unlock
sure.
this
Right.
little bundle of stuff, or we'll add this to the game or whatever. So that's the same kind of mechanism that Kickstarter has used for years
Oh, yeah.
to incentivize
Absolutely.
people to talk to their friends and try to get more people to sign up for the game so
Exactly.
that way they can
Right.
get whatever the cool bells and whistles that are kind of offered as bonuses.
Right.
So let's see. I've got an interesting question. Why Napoleonic and not Napoleonic? I don't know.
What?
Plus Napoleonic. Oh, I see. I think he's questioning my the title of my channel here because it's Napoleonic Plus.
Oh,
Yes,
well,
because
yeah, because
Brandywine does not
it's
fall within the
not
Napoleonic genre.
not
So
terribly so. No.
yeah, yeah,
Yes, it should be Napoleonic Plus at this
Napoleonic
point.
Plus indeed. Well, this is
Yes.
the first time I've kind of. I think I
Yeah.
did. I think I did once years ago before the channel was well defined. I think I had played House Divided, and I posted a video about I can't even remember who did House Divided. It was Avalon Hill or who it was, but it's a fun little beer and pretzels kind of American Civil War game. Um, and I think I posted that on the channel, and that was your channel name is Negative Napoleonic. Hmm. Oh, I see. It says dash.
Ah,
Oh,
boy.
okay.
Somebody's doing
Yeah,
algebra with your
yeah.
title
Somebody
there. Yeah.
is. You're blinding me. I'm an economist. Don't ask me to do math. Come on.
Oh dear. Yeah, we wouldn't
Yes.
want you
Yeah.
to know anything about numbers.
Yeah.
Oh
We
my
we just
goodness.
speak only in the most sweeping of all possible
Generalizations. Yeah.
generalities. Exactly.
Absolutely.
That's what
Yeah,
that's what it's all about to be an
makes
economist.
all the sense in the world. What was it Harry Truman said? Oh, to have a one-armed economist. It's like, what? Why do you want a one-armed economist? Well, because every time you ask an economist, he says, "Well, on the one hand,"
then
But
on the
on
other
the
hand, yes, yeah, there you
exactly
go.
there, that old Harry Truman, he was a laugh riot.
Oh, I so now they're saying it's not mathematical per se. It's grammatical. It's not a
Mm,
dash, an em dash or en dash without a
oh dear.
space. Okay,
Okay.
I will have to modify that. So I'm married to an English major and an English
Um.
teacher, so I
Well,
I have to bow to the superiority of people who know all their grammar and proper
absolutely.
punctuation. So
Absolutely.
all right, well we are here
Wow.
at the beautiful Battle of Brandywine. I don't see you in the module yet, Michael.
Oh, yes, that's because I'm looking at the one that I saved and I haven't joined, and I
Oh,
probably
okay.
should do that. So, yes, here I am. Here I am. I guess I need to connect.
Yeah, you need to come into ours because David and I have already made all the modifications.
Oh, well,
So
I honestly, I'm not sure it matters.
we got
Uh,
our
I,
secret Hessian paratroopers ready to drop and capture Washington.
hmm, um, yeah. Yeah, I know. I spent a little bit of time this afternoon trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do, and I'm still not 100% sure. But I think I have, you know, um, a bad idea there.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Um,
we've managed to have a fair amount of luck, right? I mean, the turn
on the British side,
ended, and we couldn't get our reinforcements in the first one, and then
that's true.
this
That's true.
last one. So fortune favors children, fools, and ships named Enterprise, and
Um,
occasionally, Michael playing the Americans here. So
didn't you guys get a a bonus move though during the end turn last turn?
we did, but it could
Almost, but
only
we failed.
be, yeah, he failed the initiative.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was one of those.
I was thinking that was going to be really bad because you were already in a very awkward spot as far as I was concerned, and this was only going to be worse. So okay, well, that's marvelous. I'm truly thrilled that that you didn't actually get it. I have no idea what I'm going to do next. This is just bad.
Well,
Okay,
this is the 520 turn,
it
right?
is. Yep,
So
yeah,
we
it is.
have
That's right.
we have exciting things that can happen. So
Yeah.
I
Let's
can
see.
finally come across the creek
Oh, is
with
that
or
right?
without a
This is
paddle. Yes.
okay.
So it's time for you to fight off the German hordes. They're going to be
Okay.
pouring across.
Okay. Well, oh yeah, indeed. 520 within 4 hex sides of the selected ford. Yeah.
So I guess the first thing he has to do is select which ford he's going to be.
Well, there's
Con-
only one. The only one I can cross would be Chad's Ford.
no, you can cross either one. It's just the difference is with the blocking marker is all the hexes are cost the hex side, whereas this one you have a Ford hex side on the one you're in front of. So
Right. I mean, it's a little obscure, but yes.
Oh,
You
oh, I
actually
I
could
thought I
pick.
thought I could not cross at Chad's Ferry.
No. No, well you you can't actually use the ferry there. But you could actually cross there.
Oh,
It's just you'd be paying the same price as if you were crossing the creek without
oh,
the
okay,
ferry being there.
okay,
And so what you're doing actually makes perfect sense.
okay. Well, I'm
Why
glad
wouldn't you?
I'm doing something that makes perfect sense. That doesn't
Yeah, I
happen
mean,
often enough.
that's a relief. So, all right, very good. Well, we got that going for us. Okay, I think you guys are +1 to me, if I'm not
Yep,
mistaken, on initiative
yep.
rolls. Is that
At
right?
least until Hal gets shot off his horse.
There you go. That's the spirit.
Yeah, or maybe his horse just slips in the mud.
Well, I don't know. We just have to read through the
Yeah,
special events. I'm sure
yeah.
there's one in there for him. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. Let's go ahead and roll. See if
All
we can get.
right.
Let's see if we can get a
All
special
right.
event.
Let's see. Yeah. As long as we get the one I want, that's
Zero
what matters.
four. Hal's horse trips in the mud.
Okay. Wow. Look at that.
Hey, you got a wing activation.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't waste any time
No,
there.
not at all. That's pretty good, Michael.
That puts me right on having to make up my mind right away
Right
because
away.
yeah, because I think I'm just gonna go ahead and run.
You're going to run?
Well, I'm just thinking I'm gonna run to the other side of Hex Row 48 and make all those units of yours disappear, and just find someplace else to fight.
So
So
where do you, if you route, do you have to route in a particular direction or towards a particular hex?
actually, that's a good question.
Yeah,
And
because
actually,
I
there is
because
a specific hex he has to route towards, I believe.
oh okay.
Let's find that
Because
just so we're
otherwise,
sure of
we'll
it.
send you to Ed Wimble's house. That will be where
Ed,
we will send
oh,
you
well,
to.
you know what? I mean, oh well, that's no good. I need to go south, or yeah, I'm not sure if it's really south. Where is
There's Ed
that?
Wimble's house. Ed Wimble's house is pretty much east of, or
Yeah,
yeah,
that's no
where
good.
you're at.
I'm looking American Special Rules. Is there anything there? I don't see it. Uh, you thought there was a specific hex?
Yeah, I believe so. If I
Okay,
remember right,
I'm
Brandywine
just
revised. Okay. Let's see.
looking.
Well, you'd think that you would have to retreat towards whatever your line of communication.
Yeah. So the question is it specified, and if so, where? I'm trying to think of where would it say. Oh,
The
the American
American
line of
and
retreat
retreat is
is
towards
SE 3201 or
or
NE 5801.
801.
All right, so let's look at SE 3201
That should be down
southeast.
there.
Southeast 3201.
Well,
So
3101 is it's down here.
one,
It's by Painter's Crossroad, right?
yeah, the other's by just east of Dilworth.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but both of those actually make sense. Okay, all right. All right, right,
The two Chester Road and
right.
the wherever that other road goes from Dilworth.
It goes around the backside of Ed Wimble's house, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Past Rick Barber's
Patrick
Barber's house. Yeah, exactly.
the late great Rick Barber. Right. So I can activate a wing, and here I am getting out my order of battle so I can be sure that I know which a wing is. Because this group up in the north is weird. Stevens' wing is the third and fourth. Virginia, that's the east side of those guys up there. And then the New Jersey Brigade and the third Pennsylvania is the other ones. Okay.
And Alexander's wing.
Yeah, except Alexander's wing is a little more complicated than that because he's got people scattered all over the place.
Right.
But whatever, all good. All right. Well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and activate Stevens' wing, and I don't suppose I need to worry about being in command to voluntarily route. Here I am looking under voluntary route. Um, looking. It's actually back in this the basic rules.
Well, but I thought there were some special rules
Oh,
for.
there are. There are. No, there absolutely are. I was just looking for the specific ones about um, in command. A leader may be out of command, and units with his command range may still voluntarily route. That's what I wanted to be sure of. Okay. So it doesn't matter whether he's in command or not. And of course, he isn't because Washington's a million miles away. But I mean, if I rolled for Stephen, well, it wouldn't matter because they don't need to be. So I guess it's time for lots of routes. Now, refresh my memory, Mr. American from Monmouth. We put the markers on the voluntary ones. That's how we keep them separate. Is that right?
Yes, you put a
Yes.
marker on it
Okay. All
for
right.
that. All right, a player may decline to perform a rally morale check for voluntary route, and the player may instead allow you to
Okay.
continue to perform route retreat for continuation of voluntary route morale check and no additional
So Michael,
loss.
you're doing that for Stevens.
I'm doing it for Stevens first, and
Okay.
so these guys can move for they can move forward during their movement, right? And then they can move 8 during the rally phase. Is that right?
No,
No, it's the other way around.
during the rally phase, they can move up to 4 hexes for infantry, up to 6 for cavalry, but they're not required to
During the
move all.
movement segment, they can move up to 8 for infantry and cavalry, but it's only 4 for the artillery.
And
I think that's what I just read.
and the yeah the
Under 2.5b on page 6, it says activated unlimbered artillery unit may also voluntarily route during its movement segment by limbering and performing a voluntary route of up to 4 hexes, not 8. Okay. All right. Well, gosh, I'm going to have to find a bunch of routed markers. Have routed one of my options on the... Yeah, it is. It's Control U. I should probably just get used to putting the value there.
So this is a okay. It's a formation. No, it's a morale state marker. Okay.
Yeah, it's a morale state. It is it's basic. Wow, how did I do that?
I've just been
It's
grabbing
basically...
some and dropping them there for you.
Oh no, thank you. I appreciate that. I think I managed to. I must have hit the wrong key. And those are just leaders, so I don't need to worry about them. And oh, wait a minute. That's Pennsylvania. That's a different one. Okay, I'm just making sure I've got everybody covered there. That's 4th Virginia. That's 4th Virginia. That's 3rd Virginia. Okay, I think I'm all right now. Okay. So actually, I think I'm just going to take one additional wrinkle to all this, and I'm actually just going to leave these guys not routed. Because they're already in road column, they go faster that way than they can if they're routing. So I think that's what we're going to do. All right. Now, the one thing that I want to make sure that I remember about routing. You can't stack with other units except for the units that you started routing with. So actually, if they're already stacked, they can go together. All right,
Yeah.
so
Do
let's
do artillery move at the same pace as
no,
infantry,
that
or
this one up here that
right?
was unlimbered can only
Right.
move 4 hexes this turn.
Okay.
Because presumably because of the unlimbering. But I guess everybody else can move 8, and then this guy will actually just move the road movement rate. So that's that's the cunning plan. So let's just start, shall we?
Sure.
That's 2, 4, 6, 8. 4, 6, 8. I'm gonna bring this infantry unit out separately. 2, 4, 6, 8. The guns will only go 4. Whoops.
Oh, they don't want to leave.
Yeah, yeah. They were just wanted to. They thought they were Russians for a minute. They wanted to stand by their guns till the very end. That's 4. That's 6. That's 8. Okay. I'm not even sure what Sullivan's actually doing here because his wing isn't here. So I don't really know what purpose he serves in the game at the current moment, but whatever.
He is going to engage in
Rally
personal
those rowdy.
combat. Personal
Oh, that's
combat.
probably
Yep.
it.
He's going to
All right.
challenge
2, 4,
how
well,
to a duel.
6, 8. That's probably it. 2, 4, 6, 8. These guys. 2, 4, 6, 8. Now these guys are actually, just they're in road column. Um, so what do we do here? I think they probably can't move at the normal rate immediately. Because they're not entirely on the road yet.
Right. So I think the first one hex forward would be 1 movement point. Or a half.
No, I think it's 1 for for artillery.
Oh, it's artillery?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
right. All right, so that's going to be 1. I'm okay with that. But then after that, it goes a lot faster.
Yep.
Right, because that's 1.5. That's 2. That's 2.5. That's 3. That's change. All right, and they're wondering what everybody else is panicking, running away from. Because they're all, we're not freaking out. So, I will go ahead and move these leaders and flip some leaders over. And then I guess these fellas need to move too. I don't really know where to move them because it doesn't really matter a whole lot. Well, we'll just put them in here in the midst of all these guys.
So now, with a voluntary route, is it like the other route to get them to come back, or is it less
No,
onerous?
it's exactly the same. So the key difference is that with a voluntary route, you're not required to try to rally during the rally phase.
Oh,
You may
okay.
prefer to stay routed for a while if you want.
Right.
At some point, though, you decide, nope, that's far enough. It's time to rally. And when you do that, it's just exactly like trying to come out of an involuntary route, and then all the same rules apply. If you miss rolling badly enough, you could lose an increment. You may just keep running even though you don't want to anymore. And at that point, you now just are involuntarily routed. Now, if you fail,
Right.
you're just treated as if you are a normal involuntary route. If you succeed, you come back. Of course, you come back in the same way. You're disordered and shaken. It's still going to take you another turn to come back. I mean, I, I'm realizing that I was in a bad place. It's just
Right.
never a happy thing to have to go do this because it means I'm going to have to go hole up somewhere and have time enough not to be bushwhacked while I'm still putting myself together.
Right.
So we'll
Well,
see how that goes.
there's a fair amount of distance.
Uh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
between you and the British.
I mean, kind of just sticking my thumb up and squinting with one eye. It seemed like it would probably work, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
Remember, only electrons die in this game.
There
No
you go.
problem.
That's good.
All right, that's it for my wing activation.
Okay.
just
That's
now your other ones, your artillery that routed, did any of them traverse a non-clear hex?
Mm,
let's see.
the artillery that routed.
Is
Yeah,
right
there
here.
is.
So it would have
No,
gone
he
one,
just
two,
went.
three,
He just
four.
went 1, 2, 3. No, he
Okay.
didn't.
Yeah, he was
Just
here and
because
he
there
ended
is
there.
right there is a thing if a unit artillery traverses a non-clear hex or hex side during its route retreat, it may lose an SP.
I
So,
see. And how do we know that? I
uh,
mean, for each non-clear hex, if it's a 0 or a 1.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, that's good to know.
Non-clear hex or hex side. Okay, interesting. All right. Well, very good. Well, that's what I got, and
And,
so somebody
okay.
needs to roll some dice.
All right, I'll go ahead and throw the dice. Here we see. Oh, another wing activation for you.
I don't think that's going to be enough for a wing.
or wing.
activation.
That's just a.
I think that's just one more for me because I think I need it. It needs to be at least a 7.
Oh, is it supposed to be double, more than double what the number is?
And higher than your own wing activation.
Oh, okay.
And Washington's is a 7, so it's an and function.
Okay.
Going back to math, sorry about that, but I'm going.
That's
back
okay. That's okay.
Okay.
We have some math surgeons who are obviously watching, so
Yeah,
they
clearly.
can help us out.
Math surgeons.
Math surgeons. Yeah.
Never heard that before, but sure, why
There you
not?
go. Why not?
Okay. Ah, boy, yeah. Well, I mean, I suppose the next thing to do is probably the next guy, Conway, who's right here. And it's unfortunate. Where is my terrain effects chart? I'm not going to get far without that. On the facing chart, so many charts. Where are all my charts? American infantry, all other unit, right? Okay, all right. And artillery going up a gentle slope is +1.
That's what it seems to say.
Yeah. All right. Well, it is this. It is Conway and the 3rd Pennsylvania. That's who's activating right now. Everyone is in range. The artillery are the only ones that are a little bit tricky. Again, I'm just trying to figure out. That would cost 1. That would be 2, 3. That would be 4. He's not going very far, so that's kind of disappointing, but whatever. And the rest of these guys, I think I'll just go ahead and route them too. And okay, that is totally not what I meant to do. I've got some mad skills here, boys.
I thought it looked like they were going to be attacking their colleagues there.
Yeah.
That,
It's like it's your fault that we're running.
There you go.
Dogs, right?
Well, this is interesting that you can move 8 And that's regardless of what terrain you're going through.
Yeah, because it's considered kind of a retreat.
Yeah.
Four,
Is that how
six, and
things usually work with route movement, or is it only with voluntary route movement that you have
oh
this?
no, it's exactly the same.
Oh, okay.
4, 6, 8. You know what? I take it back. Actually, if you'll indulge me, I'm going to go back and try to give this guy the ability to do a rapid march. That means that he needed to be in command. So I'm going to roll one die, hope for a 6 or less. Okay. So he's already spent 4, and putting him into um, road column will cost 2 more. Uh, all right, there we go. Okay.
And he does a disorder check.
Oh, sure. Yeah, of course he does. Yeah, for a rapid march, it's +5. He's okay. All right. So that is it for.
So the rapid march
Conway.
lets you spend another half of your movement.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And
basically,
you gotta take a disorder check at the end of it.
okay, cool.
Um, there's some optional fatigue rules that we're not using, but that you can incur fatigue. In fact, I think that was actually the primary reason for the optional rule, was to prevent people just rapid marching constantly.
Right.
And because, I mean, if you, I forget exactly, if you miss that disorder check roll badly enough, you actually take a step of fatigue
Right.
when you do rapid marching. So it kind of made you want to be serious about it. If you're really going to do it. So, all right.
All right.
That was it for Conway. So that's it.
All right. It's your turn to throw the dice, Michael. I mean, David.
No,
David.
Mine.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let's
See
see
if you
I
can do any better. 94.
Yes,
Oh,
that's a
that's a
wing.
wing for y'all.
It is a wing for you all, and it moves the end of the turn marker up, if I'm not
Oh, it sure
mistaken.
does. Very good. Very good.
I'm learning the game.
You are. It's that whole Napoleonics plus.
It is. It's definitely Napoleonics plus. It's
Absolutely.
Labatai plus. Oh, you want to turn that way? It costs you 5 movement points.
That's right. Labatai plus a lot of
Yeah.
complicated marching.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So, what do we want to do? What do you want to do, David?
All right, let's see. What did I want to do now here?
Because you are our brilliant leader. Can you activate Cornwallis's group to move as a
Yes,
wing?
I
Okay.
can do everybody over there if I want, and I think that is what I am going to do.
Okay. Then you take this
Well,
wing activation. I'll take the next one.
well, wait a minute though.
Uh
You can
oh.
only activate people who are within your own scope of command.
Right,
Is everybody in the scope of command of Cornwallis?
everybody from Cornwallis North is.
Okay, that I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
When you said
Cornwallis.
everybody up north, I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if you meant the guards as well.
No,
Next
no,
time.
guards are
Okay.
not.
All right. Yep, that makes sense to me.
So,
All right. So yeah, so we got those lights.
all right, let's see how
got-
I want to do this.
There's the 4th.
I suggest you voluntarily route them and head them towards where the
Oh,
Americans are going.
that's the only way you're going to keep up with them. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. We just say our line of retreat is Philadelphia.
You've heard of advancing to the rear? Well, this is,
Yeah,
retreating to the front.
exactly, exactly.
All right, so let's see. Where's the old movement thing here? You're gonna make me do a whole bunch of weird calculations now. Let's see.
Darn it.
See, we're in line there. So line two. All right. So wow, that's three. One hex line to one hex march column. It's three to that side. All right. There. Let's see.
It's 520, you say?
Yes, it's the 520 turn.
Okay. Wayne's Wing and the Light Infantry Brigade are free to move for me this turn. And Wayne's Wing is, I think, that front row. Yeah, it is.
Oh, down south by the creek.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
truth
yeah,
is
yeah.
you're going to be within 8 of them pretty soon anyway, but I guess the point is I don't have to wait for you to come closer. I can move right away.
Yeah. Well, you can just come rushing up,
Absolutely.
push us with bayonets across the stream.
Mm-hmm. Von Steuben can just stay in Prussia. We don't need him.
It's right. It's gonna be. It's the French victory at Valmy, right?
That's it. That's it.
Yep. Yep. Just a bunch of very well enthusiastic, you know, revolutionary zealots. I mean, take on people that know how to march.
Yes, but we actually have culottes. We're not sans culottes like those revolutionary riffraff. We're we're real citizens
There you
here.
go. That's true. That's true.
And plus, kind of a little puritanical streak, so we're not going to walk around without culottes. I mean, come on.
There you go. Yes, very, very
It's like,
puritanical.
This is a very sophisticated sort of
sorry.
commentary we got covering him up here. Yes?
Yeah, sorry. This may take a little bit because I got a lot of different things I'm trying to do here. So,
All right.
We'll talk it through so we can
what
all.
Yeah.
what was the first? I need to find a movement chart here too.
Yep.
All right, so let me see. Uh, skirmish, Brambles 1, Marshes 1, Open Orchard, Village, Half Walled, Woods are 1. Now what was the okay? So going from doesn't matter what I'm in. I'm looking at these lights here first. I'm thinking of putting them in skirmish.
Okay. So they would need to deploy into 2 hexes. Where did we find that? Um, Here it is. 8.5a breakdown. In command, not disordered or routed, not shaken, not, no, excuse me, not disordered or routed, not stacked with another combat unit, not in an EZOC, in line or march column, single hex, single or multi hex, has not expended any MA in this movement segment, has more than 50% of its printed SPs remaining. Parent unit removed. Component units are placed stacked in the parent unit's hex in the same facing / formation. If the components are skirmish only units and their stack violates the skirmisher SP per hex stacking limit, they have until the end of the movement segment to correct the violation. So that's really all there is to it. Now's the time to do it at the beginning of the turn. Just put both units in the hex marked with skirmish, and then
Right.
just make sure to separate them during the course of their movement.
And when they move, um, again, is it already always into just the front hex, or do they
Their
the
front hex includes all four, including the two that you usually think of as flank. So
Yeah,
they can
so
actually
so
move
their
sideways.
front hex is going to be all
That's right.
four of these, so they can move
That's right.
sideways.
They're like crabs.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, from a mobility point of view, they are. Um,
that's what I'm thinking of doing with that guy there. Where's
yeah,
charting?
because then you can move through just about any. Oh, a lot of this terrain is then what would normally cost you. You know,
So skirmish, they actually stay um, pointed at a hex
That's right.
side.
a
A
vertex. Yeah.
vertex, just
A
exactly
vertex.
like they are now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's what that guy's going to do. Find my
And I thought there were some
units there.
skirmish markers up at the top of the
Yep.
board.
There are, and they're the weird ones because you can't rotate them, and
Yeah.
they're not in the menu. Super weird.
Whoops.
Ooh, I like that. Looks like
Dancing.
yeah, it looks
Oh,
like
wait a minute. I'm
yeah,
getting all confused. There we go. That's the way.
red coats on ice.
Yeah. All right. So.
As long as it's thin ice, I don't
All
mind.
right. And it didn't count any movement point to do that,
It
correct?
did not to do the
Okay.
breakdown. No.
Okay. So now, and they have a movement factor of 1/2 and clear. So that's 1.5. What's this hex side? Is that bramble?
I'm trying to figure out what that is.
What?
Oh, it is.
This is bramble.
Yeah.
This is woods.
Right.
And let's see, bramble cost me 1 in skirmish.
Yeah.
Max. So 1.5. All right. 2.5. 3.5. Or actually, let's see. 1.5. They can go this way, right?
Yeah.
Sure. That's
2.
2.
3 gets you there. 4 gets you there.
Yeah. So I'm thinking here. Yep.
Let's stick your head right on in the news.
Yep. Here I come. 1, 2, 3, and let's 3.5 there. All right, so that's the first one. All right. So, all right, next I'm moving to this guy here. So he's going, well, Um, all right. So if he turns, and then that's two. And if I go into road column, it'd be two more, and or do I have to turn first?
I think you're in March column right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you need to turn first.
So that's
Three.
3, and then
Actually, no, that's okay. So that's a half. It's half. So no, that's not. Okay, let me start again.
Wait a minute.
so you were there
You spent
That's a one.
one to
Right.
get there,
Oh,
then
okay.
two,
to turn.
Two.
right?
Two.
And then
All right.
three gets you into road column because there is no
Extension.
hex difference. Yeah, you can all fit in one hex. So three and you're in road column.
All right. Yeah, let's do that. We'll go into row column.
And then you could move him what? Is that say minor road? So I guess
It's a
he can
minor
move
road, yeah.
another 4
Four
hexes forward.
Would take him to 4,
three,
yeah.
4. So that would get you right there.
So let's see. Four. All right. One. Bunch of things there. 1.5. 2.5. All right. So the 8 unit is going into road column and moving right behind the next one.
So you're at 2.5 right now.
So 3.5, and so we can go right to there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so he will be in road column. On that. Now, if I keep, would I keep these two together and put an extension marker behind them, or do I?
So you're at 2.5 right now,
Yeah.
and honestly, it seems like it would be better because you're at 2.5 now to just spend 3.5 and then move one of them forward, and then just put the other one in road column exactly where he is. Because otherwise, you get into the whole problem of where does your tail go if you don't actually move out of the hex? You know what I mean?
Yep. All right. So that's that. Okay.
It's always easier if you're doing it near enough the beginning of your movement so you can just kind of sidestep the whole problem by marching out of the hex. Leave your tail behind you.
All right. So now we're back down where these guns here. All right. Well, let's see. Wait a minute. Let's. 1, 2.
I don't know, Michael. It looks like he's trying to tempt you to attack him.
That's what he's doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
You've still got some of those New Jersey boys.
And you know
Under
those Jersey boys,
Alexander.
they are big trouble.
Yep. I can see them coming out off the hill, marching, catching the British in road column. It's going to be the big surprise.
Big head fake there.
Yeah.
All right. Next there. 1. So the grenadiers here, 1, 2, 3. And
If you don't mind rapid marching, you could turn them and put them into
Yeah.
road column.
I can't rapid march, remember?
Oh, that's right. What a shame. Did it sound like I meant that? I just wanted to know if it came across.
Wholeheartedly.
Okay.
Wholeheartedly. Yeah. All right. So now let's see. We got the second light. They can only move half their movement. All right. So the artillery here.
When does that come off?
It's through the next turn. So
Through the next turn.
it was through the 540 turn, I believe.
If you just bought them better boots, you wouldn't have this trouble.
I know. All right.
If we'd only invested in culottes, we would have been fine. That's our problem. We didn't get the culottes.
So 2, 3. All right. So the top one goes into road column. It's going to end up 3, then and 4. And he's got an extension behind him. Oops.
Oh, so it's two increments of artillery per
Yep.
per hex or per in
Per
road,
road
column.
column hex. That's
Okay.
right. Yeah.
So I know that the increments for infantry and cavalry are different in this American system.
Yeah.
Is artillery the same or is it different?
No, it's also different. Where does it say it? Come on. Each artillery strength point represents 1 rather than 2 guns.
Okay. So would they really need to be spread out like that?
Yeah, there's 4 guns in each one. So it's
Yeah,
super,
each increment is 1 gun. So basically, what they're saying is 200 guns takes up 100 yards of road by the time you consider caissons and
Okay, so 2 guns takes up 100 yards of road. Okay.
Right.
That's what I was curious because I know with some of the
Yeah.
stuff we'd had, obviously stacking limits are different in this one
Right.
because we've got different space.
Right.
So,
By the way, when we get a chance, I'm reading this book that I've just been having a blast reading. It's actually about tactics in the American Civil War, but it talks so much about linear combat. I mean, I think you'd still find it fascinating.
back here on this one, he's going in, the top one's going into road column there for 1. So he can come back right here. The next one's going into road column for 2. There. And he needs one of these. All right. So let's this guy here. One, two, 1.5. But yeah. Oops, that's not what I wanted. One. Wait. What was it to? Is it was there a penalty to go to here?
I'm sorry, where?
Let's see. You're in March column.
Yeah, if you're in March column, I don't think there is, but it would be from grade to grade. But if you're in March column, there is no penalty.
Right. So I
Yeah.
could go half, 1.5. All right. So let's do that. Okay. So we'll do 1/2 and 1.5, 2.5, 3. And going down this slope here.
Are you going down it or you're moving adjacent to it?
I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna turn and go down. Is that 1 plus 1? Is that a median?
Turn and go down.
I think you're
Yeah, I was
going
going.
up.
Oh, that's an up. Okay,
Well,
okay,
it's hard
okay.
to tell.
It's hard to tell. Yeah, no, I'm trying to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
usually the way I'm looking at it, looks like this is the top, right?
Yeah,
that's a
And then
tight. So
this
I'm turning
is,
going up.
yeah,
So it's is it +1 going up?
up a slope,
that's a
regular
regular
slope.
slope of
It's
thing.
it's half. No, it's yeah. If you're in road march, it's only worth half. So it's plus half.
1. All right, so
Right. So that's one, and it's two.
Two.
Yeah, and
3,
then three.
three and a
Yeah.
half.
Right.
Um, and I think. All right. So now I still got my that one artillery. Do I want? Can't really do much with him other than let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. And these other two, I'm going to put them into skirmish mode too. This one and this one. So let's put them. Let's move them into skirmish because I can move better that way. Second lights here. Back onto here.
And they're going to face a vertex, I think.
Yep.
Okay.
So there you go. That officers with the fourth. I'm going to move that officer. He's going to. See, I don't know these part of these. want to move there. And now these. All right, so they can only move 1, 2, 1/2, 1, 2. Do this one here. One half, 2, and 1, 2, and I think that's about everybody. Look, this.
So they can only move 2? It costs them 2 to change into skirmisher, or?
No, these units I got some special rules.
Ah, okay.
They can't move and start moving. I guess they were all tuckered out or something like that. They
Oh,
can't
okay.
start doing their full movement until
So if they're in skirmish, they don't have their full movement value.
no, they've got. They only get they are only allowed to move half their movement allowance until it's
Ah,
in
okay.
Oh, there is one thing you probably need to remember. I had forgotten about it myself, but it affected me in our last game. Remember that a unit in skirmish formation is limited to using 2 movement points during its movement segment, in which at the start or end of its movement segment it's not within 2 hexes of a friendly non-routed combat unit.
and they were right next to the ones, and they ended
Yeah,
up.
no. I was more thinking about the guys that are coming up on Birmingham Hill, because at least right now they're not within 2 of any friendly units.
That's true. They at this point they will now be
I
subject.
think they're okay now. In other words, I think it was legal.
Right,
How they
'cause they.
got there was okay, but I don't know that that's going to be true next turn,
Yeah,
unless you can figure out how to connive to get somebody within 2 hexes of them.
they
'Cause
were actually no, they weren't within 2 hexes. I didn't have anybody
were
within
they?
because
They
they
were
started
right
right
there.
there. They
Yeah, you're
started
right.
right
They
there,
were.
and they didn't. I don't think I had anybody. I think the closest one was about here, or was it? Yeah, that was here. So yeah, okay. So they don't. They only got so
2
one.
movement points instead of. Well, I
So
guess you spent 4.
right. So they would be back like that. Yes.
Yeah, that's why I had to send that whole brigade up through the trees. Not because they were doing a whole lot of good, but
Oh,
because I
and what
needed
I'm
them to keep
actually.
the skirmishers moving.
Yeah, and actually, I'm gonna put them there instead.
Yeah, that's probably a better idea. It's well worth a half a movement point.
Is that way? Then they're still. Let's see. I could actually two, actually what give one to there instead. All right. All right. That keeps me. All right. I think that does it. I think this is the other. So that flips that guy and Cornwallis. Since it was a wing, he gets flipped, right?
Yep,
Um, if I'm going to move him, I should probably move him now. I don't think I am.
absolutely.
I don't think I am going to move him. I think I like where he is right at the moment. Okay.
All right, very good.
Oh, sorry, that was a long turn, but
No worries.
That's
No worries.
okay.
It was
That's
a lot of
lots
weirdness.
Yes.
I threw a little wrench in the works there by just bugging out.
yeah.
All right.
So with
Well,
that,
then
the
I guess
skirmishers have to stay within 2, or is it only
Good.
those skirmishers
at the
that do?
no, it's any skirmishers. at the beginning or the end of their movement segment, they have to end up
The end, yeah.
uh, within two hexes of a friendly non-routed combat unit. And obviously, it's funny because it actually doesn't say it the same way here. Um, it was more unambiguous in Monmouth, where it actually said a formed unit. In other words, not other skirmishers, because that would be cheeseball, right?
Well, that's what I was going to ask you because I've got
Right.
down here by the creek, I've got a bunch of skirmishers, and I'm like, oh well, that's fine. The skirmishers are adjacent to another skirmisher, kind of a thing. But what you're
Yeah, but
saying is they've got to be,
they're all within two hexes of a formed unit, so it doesn't matter.
yeah, right now they are. Once I
Yeah,
start to push them
yeah,
across the stream, that'll be a different story
exactly.
potentially. But
You know,
yeah,
the other guys are going to follow them across. I mean,
yeah,
I just they can't go off
doing their own
wandering
thing. They can't
by
go wild.
themselves. Yeah, they
Well,
need
they
to
would
act like
still have to
actual
be within.
skirmishers.
They still would be in command range. They still should be in command range of whomever, right?
Well, but remember, a lot of the skirmisher units, especially up here with Cornwallis, are independent units, so they don't really need to be in anybody's command
Oh,
range.
okay.
That's not
So you could easily see some gamey
Oh,
tactics
okay.
of just send those guys off because I have perfect, you know, radio telephony contact with them, and I know exactly where the enemy is, and just stuff that
Oh,
doesn't make
okay.
any
Okay.
sense.
So now it makes sense. So now I
Yeah.
understand what they're trying to do is
How would
not
you
have
really
the.
use
Yeah.
them? You'd use them as a screen in front of your formed units.
Yep.
I mean, that's what they're for. So,
Okay.
all right. I think it's back to my turn then. You're done, right?
Yep.
Go
So you're
ahead.
done there.
Throw the
Chuck some
dice.
dice. Oh no!
Oh,
Oh no!
exciting!
Oh my
Special,
gosh!
special,
Where's their
exciting.
special
A
results?
0-1.
0-1, and that one
Is it
it's
American
on
flood,
mine.
isn't
It's
it?
on mine. Leader lapse. Apparently, General Washington has the vapors. Cannot trace his line of command or use his command rating. The second result negates the first. What markers do we use for that?
It looks like Washington fell off his horse.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah,
Maybe that was
they
it.
probably have a
Oh,
marker that looks like
I,
somebody falling off their horse.
uh, every game has got some weird marker in it that gets used for this purpose. But oh, here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna put this marker on him. It'll all be very clear to you when you see it. There we go. I just put the weather marker on
There you
him.
go. There you go.
The effect of that is that now you guys are +3 on the initiative rolls.
Oh, good.
Um, if we get that special event again in the same turn, it's negated. Otherwise, it comes off at the end of the turn.
Okay.
So
All
that's
right. Well, I
that. So
guess you roll again,
basically,
right? Because it was a 0.
yeah, that's kind of how we've been doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see what we get.
A
Okay,
1,
that's a
4.
tie because you guys are +3.
Yeah.
So that's a 4-4 tie. So I will just check it again. All right, that is you. A single move, no change to the end turn marker.
Right.
Okay.
Go
So,
for it, Eric.
oh, I get to do something?
Yeah.
Holy smokes! Look at
Oh,
this.
my
Now
goodness.
he's got to get serious.
Yep. Yep.
Has he been studying the terrain effects chart to figure out what it is he's doing?
I'm just going to pretend it's Labatai, and it just costs me 1.
Not too much.
All right. Well, let's see. I'm gonna push some of these Hessians across the stream if I can.
Okay.
So, and I
I
will
think
probably need your assistance in trying to figure out how to do that.
totally fine. I think that last skirmisher at the end
Yeah.
is going to have to move up the creek before he can cross. I don't think he can cross where he is because of
This
the
one here.
restrictions. Yeah,
Yeah.
He's not.
because
Yeah, he's not within
because it's
4
just
hex sides.
4 hex sides, so he'd have
Right.
to be 1 hex northwest in order to cross. But okay, yeah. So let's see. Crossing the creek for skirmish order units just ends the move.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, let's be clear. What command are you activating?
Well, I was going to activate whoever this guy is here with the. He's the German fella. Stim,
Oh,
I think, right?
the German fellow. That is it. Stim?
I think it's Stim.
Is it Stern?
Well,
I think it's an R and an N.
I just see Stim. He's the Hessian commander.
Stim, yep.
Stim.
G Stim.
Stim.
Weird. It looks like an R N to me. Well,
Yeah.
whatever.
So I thought I was
Anyway,
going to
that
activate
guy.
him.
Okay, fine.
Right.
And that's all the Hessian units report to him?
Correct. So he's got all of the Hessians are his.
You are correct. It's STIRN.
Huh. I don't know why on the order of battle chart it's got him listed as something else.
The two letters just blur into each other, but it really does say Stern.
If you zoom
Oh,
in, you
yeah. Okay.
Oh.
I guess now I see what
All
you
right.
mean. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that guy.
Yep.
And he's got. What has he got? He's got
He's
a
got
goodly number.
4,
goodly
1,
number of
2,
guys.
3, and I think 4 regiments of Hessians.
Okay, yeah, and then
Yeah.
the regimental guns
Yeah.
too, right? Okay, yeah, all right, that makes sense. And then you can activate the skirmishers along with, because they're independent. So
Right.
you can activate any independent unit you like. Those are all easily in command because they're all right there. But
Right. So now my question is, okay, so if I want to move this guy across the creek,
right,
and he's there at the ford.
yes. So he's at the ford, so it costs him +1 whether he's in line or column, doesn't matter, to cross the ford.
Okay.
Um,
And then the
so
regimental
that's
guns cost +1, it looks like, as well.
yes, that's right. So basically, when you've crossed, you're at 1.5.
Okay, so it's 1.5 to get him there.
Exactly, that's
Okay.
right.
All right, and then now, before I
Now,
start to move other people, if this guy crosses, and he's
yeah,
crossing not at the hex where the little street is, but here,
exactly.
is
Yep.
he? What's he do? Is he doing the same thing? Is it the same cost,
N-
or is it a different
no,
cost?
no, it's a very different cost actually. So first
Okay,
of all, it's because he's actually crossing the creek itself. So because he's in column, it would be +2 to cross the creek. So he'd
right.
be 2.5 when he gets across the creek. But because he didn't cross at the ford, he must go into general order, which first of all means he stops moving.
Okay.
And
So if he's going to go across, it's going to be a big to do crossing there
yeah, and then he'll have to get himself out of general order,
once.
in
Okay.
order to move further. So
Okay.
yeah, there's kind of a temptation there to think, I wonder if I just wait for the ford to be clear.
Yeah, I might
Yeah,
just do that.
yeah,
So that's what I was kind
yeah,
of curious about how that works.
right.
Okay, so this guy's
So,
spent
but
1.5 to get there.
that's correct. Yes,
Okay, all right, and so then 2 is there,
that's right.
right?
Yep.
And then he can go um, another 2. That's going to be what, 3 or something? Uh,
I'm sorry.
oh, another. So if he moves forward another 2 hexes, that's going to cost him another one. So that'll
That
be
will be
3.
3 if he
3.
moves there. Yep, that's right.
Okay. So he'd be right there. Okay.
hmm
All right. Now, did he have to make a disorder check or anything like that as part of his movement?
Let's see what the ford says. The ford has an asterisk there. The asterisk is non-clear terrain for disorder checks. So yes,
So
yes, you
should I do
would.
that before he moves all the way, or
The disorder checks, if memory serves, are all done at the end of your movement because you add up all the potential things that could have caused disorder.
uh huh?
You might have done rapid march. You might have crossed over several different
Right.
things that could provoke it. So you wait until the end and then roll. And yes, that's awkward.
Okay. All right. So I will.
I mean, the
Um,
thing you might want to consider is also whether you want to go into line or not, because in column they can do very little.
uh,
Absolutely true.
okay. So and it cost me one movement point to go into line, correct?
It depends on which way you face, because remember,
Well, if I'm facing,
this is
uh,
the 18th century. You know.
so if I want to turn that way,
See.
Oh, that's the expensive way. Yeah, that would cost you two.
so if I go that
Are you
way,
sure? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me. I thought it was it.
Yeah, column going into line to the right would cost more than going to the left.
All right. Column to line. Yep, the right. The left is the easy.
so if I go that way, it just costs me one.
It would just cost you one if you went that way. That's true. So you would be at four. Now, obviously, you're not laboring under the same problems that Cornwallis's boys are. You can actually do a rapid march if you really prefer to face to the right. You would just do a rapid march. It would add more to your potential for disorder. Just it's on you how you like it.
Yeah, I don't necessarily care.
Okay, then there you are. Then
I'll just go there,
there
and
you
then
are.
I'm going to come up and assault the guns next turn, right?
Nonsense.
Yeah.
You do need to roll that disorder check if you're finished moving.
Okay, so that guy's. So I do it at the end of each unit that moves, correct?
Yes, and
Okay.
in fact, by the way,
Yep.
kind of a slightly gamey thing that's just part of the game is that if you're smart, you hold off moving the leader until the end because if there's a disordered unit, he can run over there, and then at the beginning of the next activation, that unit is automatically out of disorder without having to roll for it.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
So it's kind of one of those just kind of lather, rinse, repeat things you do with this system.
All right. Well, I do want to take a thorough shower in the system, so here we go.
Excellent.
Yeah. All right. So let's roll for these guys. A 0-1. I don't know what that
Now
does.
that's a special result,
Result. Oh boy.
which is entertaining.
So this is what a morale check.
It's not a good special result either. It's a disorder check.
Okay, let me find that here on my
Yep.
list of things. Disorder check for a movement action.
It is a movement action. That's exactly right. You're British and you rolled a 0-1, so you look under the
It says
pink
re-roll
red
and
column.
double all the original checks ER modifiers.
Right. So you had a +5 because you had crossed through one hex side of triggering terrain because it's politically correct and you're very sensitive. So
There you go.
the terrain triggered you.
All right. So then it
So
would be a
+5
plus
was all you
10.
had, so now it'd be a +10 instead. That's
Okay.
right.
So I re-roll again. Here we go.
Uh-huh.
So the
No problem.
54, that's going to be a 44.
No problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
Okay. So they're happy with that. All right. Then I've got this stack here will move.
Mhm.
And I will move my leader off only so we can move
There
stuff
you go.
together. And I will move the infantry and their regimental guns.
Is that just one regiment there?
There's one regiment there, and it's got one set of regimental guns, and then there were some
Right.
other guns that were underneath it.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
So
Very
that's
good. Okay.
that's
that's
one.
half.
Oh,
That's a
that's half.
half.
Sorry, I keep forgetting.
Right.
And then to turn them is going to be
So that's 1.5.
one and a
now.
half, and then going across.
Another 1.5 to
So that's
get
going to be
across.
3.
That's right.
Okay, and then I can move them here, and that's going to be 4.
That's right. Exactly.
All right, cool. All right, so then I'll make a check for them.
Yep. That's right.
31. I don't know what their modifier
31.
is.
They're
Let's take a look.
probably better than that, but what does
Oh,
it say?
nope, they're 34.
Oh my word. Oh.
Ah,
So
Right.
I put a disorder marker on them.
that is correct.
Yes, you would.
Okay.
Wow, that's interesting. I guess you get what you pay for, man. Crappy mercenaries, man.
Okay. All right. So then I've got the guns that were stacked there.
Uh-huh.
So they would go one, and then I guess it would be
Well,
uh,
yeah,
two to
actually,
turn, and
that's right.
then to go across the ford,
For them, what is the cost?
it's plus two. Oh, they're not going to be able to move.
Oh, no,
Right,
they're
it
not.
costs them three to go into that hex. So they don't
Oh.
have the wherewithal to get there.
Well, unless
They
you want a
can
rapid march.
march. Yeah.
Okay, which would mean I'd have to make two checks.
Oh,
No, you make one check, but with more die roll modifiers attached to it.
So do I make the check before they move?
No. You do everything. Unfortunately, you kind of have to commit before you know whether you're going to be disordered.
Oh, okay. So, but do I make two rolls? Do I make a
No, no,
roll
no.
for the
One.
rapid
A
march
thing?
and for crossing the
No,
creek?
No,
no,
but
because
you
they're
get
both.
modifiers for the
Those
both.
are both movement actions, and so it's only
Ah,
one
okay.
die roll. But two sets of modifiers that are being attached to the die roll. That's how it gets reflected.
Okay. So I've spent 2 points to get there. If I move
Yeah,
across, now I'm up to five,
that's right.
and
You
then
might as
this
well
is
move
going to
one
be
more because
six.
yeah, that's what I'm
Right.
gonna say.
Okay.
Once you've started rapid marching, you might as well just finish.
Yeah. So then now
Okay,
he's done with his movement, and then I would make a disorder
right, and
check.
it should be plus 10
And
because it'll be plus 5 for the rapid march itself, and then plus 5 more for the hex
For
side
the hex.
terrain.
Okay. All right. So here, let's roll the dice and see a 36. So that's actually
It
modified
should.
down
and
to a
they are good.
26. And they pass.
Ooh,
They're a
yeah,
24. Okay.
close, but
They did it. They pulled it
you're
out at the
keeping it
end.
exciting though. That's good. All
Well,
right.
for the fans at home.
Yeah, it's all about the viewers.
All right. So then this guy is going to move forward. Oh, and let's leave Niephausen here until I want to move him. So Niephausen. So this guy's going to go there. That's one. Let me just move those
Half.
guys there. Oh, that's half. So there's one, and two turns him,
Yep.
and then it's going to be three, four, or one and a half
Three
to
and
get
a
across.
half.
3.5 to get
Yeah,
across the creek.
that's exactly right.
Okay, and so that's about as far as he can go.
Right.
So
So
then we make a check for
disorder
him.
check for him with just plus 5.
87. So he's
Easy.
fine.
No
Okay.
problem. All right.
And then this guy here. Is it better for me just to make him go across the creek where he's at,
So,
or
well, let's just take a minute and review because I don't do general order terribly often, but getting out of general order is a tiny bit awkward, and so let's just so we remember how that works. Today, to change from general order to another formation. So remember, you'll cross and you'll be in general order, and that will end your movement. So then
right?
in your next activation, it'll require the unit to enter a hex that doesn't require general order. Well, it was a hex side, not a hex that caused it, so
Right.
that's nothing. The unit must begin its movement segment adjacent to this hex. Again, don't worry about that.
Right.
This change ends the movement segment for the unit. The general order formation must change to any single hex formation and facing that is legal for the terrain. So basically, it would cost you your entire next activation to get out of general order and back into a form, whatever
Okay.
one you like.
That's fine. We'll go ahead and do it. Woo woo!
Why not?
We're hopping across the creek.
All
Okay, and so
right.
now
So
we
just
make a check for him
um
because
yeah, but
yeah,
yeah, no, that's fine. Put a general order marker on him so we remember. At least I don't.
formations.
There is one.
General order.
Control
Yep, yep, yep.
G. There you go. There you go.
Okay.
All right.
All
Now
right.
you
And
might want to move any leaders and those skirmishers, I guess.
so the skirmishers, these guys can just hop across, right?
That's right. Yep. Nothing weird for them.
And then this guy, would move here, so he's within 2. I mean, because right now he can't.
That's right.
He can't go.
That's
He
right.
couldn't go into this hex anyway unless I
That's
moved
correct.
somebody else up. But I'd have to wait until they were activated if I wanted to move it.
Well, actually, you can't anyway because if you remember the scenario rules were it had to be within 1, 2, 3, 4 hex
Oh, hex size.
sides
So he
of
couldn't
the
go across.
ford.
Yeah.
So that was the excuse me. Yeah, that was the last hex side you could cross.
Okay.
So that's why he wasn't
Cool.
able to.
All right. So then I can move the leader
Yep.
here. So he's stacked with the guy that was disordered. So then he will fix
He'll
that guy
automatically
next time.
become undisordered.
Okay.
That's right.
And
Yep.
then he's still okay, and everyone is in command, is near him, so we should
Everybody
be fine. So
would
we
be
just
in
go ahead.
command next turn. Yep,
Yeah,
that's
so we
right.
just flip him. I think I did
Yeah.
it.
I think you did it.
By Jove, I think
Shocked,
he's got
I
it.
tell you. Oh my.
All
goodness.
right. Okay, so that's it for me. Exciting stuff.
Well, we'll have him playing violin and reading Voltaire in no time.
Yes, definitely. Definitely reading Voltaire.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the sort of thing that a bunch of conservative Hessians would be doing.
I was thinking of Frederick the Great, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's me. So now we're back up to throwing dice for initiative.
I think you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know whose turn it is.
I think it's yours.
Okay, I'll throw the dice. 88.
So
Well, that's
ours.
an activation
That
for
moves.
us, and it moves the magical marker.
Definitely moves the end turn marker. Yep, that's for sure.
And okay, go take another.
Well, there you go.
All right. So let's see. Who
else
do
do
I
you
want
have
to
up
queue up
here?
next? I've got all kinds of exciting people.
You got that whole first, second
Yeah,
mess.
I've got the Grant and all of his people
Right.
are all a big mess.
So let's see. So,
so yeah,
Grant
so let's go
himself is
ahead.
here. Is that
Yep,
right?
yep.
Okay. And then the first guy is up here, and then yeah, boy, what a dog's breakfast this is.
So I'm going to move. Yeah, most of Grant's guys are still out of supply.
Yeah,
or
they're
out
still
of
up there to the
command.
north. Yeah.
So I'm going to I'll activate the first. So
Okay.
on this same idea here. So this guy's going to go across this little stream, and the little baby stream doesn't add anything, so that's half. And so then that's going to be.
Let's do something. What's it do?
Well, it does trigger
No, I
a
think-
check, right?
Okay.
It says,
Yes, it does, and you can't prolong to cross it. But
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it doesn't matter to him. But
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a disorder check
Yeah,
for
so there's
crossing it.
1, and there's 2, and then there's a half, 2.5, and then we're there. Yeah. And so this guy is still hanging out there. And then the guns can go 1, 2.
Do your disorder check on the.
Oh, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I should do
Thank
that.
you. Here we go. 29.
Uh-oh, that's
Survey
close.
says 24. This is what's great about
29
it.
has
Oh,
to be
no, but
greater.
you added 5. Oh, so he's going to disorder.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
Um,
because you got the -5 or whatever, right? For going across something? For crossing a whatever?
Yeah, it's +5 for every hex side. So wait a minute. You rolled a 29. Your number is 29. So
No, my number's 24.
right, but with the +5, it
Yeah, it's
effectively
29.
becomes 29.
Right. So do I disorder?
Equal or is it greater? I thought it was greater.
I don't know. That's what I'm checking for right now. It almost never happens on 2d10, right?
Yeah. Well, it's the difference between Premier and 5th edition rules.
Exactly. The result is compared to the unit's effectiveness rating. If the result is less than the ER, the unit is disordered. The implication there is if it's
It's
equal
greater
to,
than or
then it
equal
is
to.
Oh,
not.
okay.
Okay,
So,
so
so
you're
not
not disordered.
disordered.
Okay. Not today.
Okay, you've spent 2 movement points for that artillery unit. You're in the middle of moving.
Yep. And so then I would turn it. That's going to be,
That may be
whoops,
all you're going to get,
3. Yeah, that's
because I
all
don't
the
think
more
you.
he can do.
Oh no, no, you can. I'm sorry, you can cross. You just can't prolong across it. So yeah, that's 4. You'll need to roll a disorder check.
Okay, let's roll for him.
Plus
Survey
5.
says 60.
No problem.
He's happy.
All
All right. And so then this leader can move here.
Well, remember the knucklehead up way up top of the hill who's
Oh,
out of
yeah, yeah,
command.
yeah. And
He
I've
can
got
only
some
move
other
2,
guys.
but what the heck? You might
Here
as
we
well
go.
move him.
So
Eventually, he'll get to
1,
the battle.
2.
That's half.
Oh, sorry. Half and another half.
There you go. So
All right.
that's him.
All right. And then I got these guys that look like they're pretty hot stuff.
Okay, they're also
They
out
were
of
out of
command,
command,
so,
but they can
right.
come forward.
Yep.
And in the woods.
See, 1 to move into the woods, I think.
Into the woods, yes, 1. And they can't move here because then they would be facing the wrong way. They wouldn't
Yep.
be matched up. So that's fine. So then if I move the leader here,
Yes.
then he's going to have everybody in command next turn.
Except for the knucklehead who's so far
Right,
up to the
right,
north
yeah,
that he's
yeah.
probably never going to be in command for the whole game.
Okay.
Actually, you hope he's never in command because it means you're advancing to the east.
Yes, that would be what we call less than optimal. Okay,
Mm.
cool. I think I've got it figured out. So
Okay.
there's another one down.
Brilliant. Brilliant. David.
Alrighty, let's see where's my cursor? Somewhere there it is. Boom.
75. That's us again, and
Okay.
it looks like it moved the marker again.
It
Very
does indeed.
All right, and Eric, go ahead, take another.
Oh my gosh. So I guess this would be, I would be moving Grant,
Right.
and so we would move this artillery here to there. So it's in command, but it's going down. It looks like a regular slope. So it looks like it's plus 2, so it costs 3 to go there.
That's
If I'm
right.
reading it correctly.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay, so 3,
Awkward
and then
spot
I
there.
can, turn it 1, I guess, and
Yeah,
there's
there
4.
you go. There's your 4 right there. Okay.
And then I've
And
got
those
these
other-
guys that are out of command.
Right. So,
So
they've only
that's
got
going to be
2 movement.
That's going to be 1. It's a half.
half.
Sorry. And that's going to be 1.5, and that's going to be 2.
Right.
Okay, cool. All right, and then I've got this other guy. So that's going to be 1, and that's going to be 2 to get him there.
Wow. Yeah, that's just brutal.
It's
just brutal how slow this is.
It's
Just
the,
trying to get
it's
these
the
units
big
together.
zigzag of life.
Yeah.
So, and then with the command, they actually have to be physically within that 3 hexes. They don't
his
they don't
case,
trace they don't trace through roads. It's only
No.
commanders tracing to a higher commander that
Yeah, commanders tracing to other
Command.
commanders,
Okay.
or non-command leaders tracing command. Like Kniphausen to Grant
right.
would use a road potentially, but if those guys were independent units, Kniphausen to them could be along a road.
Right.
But Grant to his own units has to
gotta be there.
just straight up
Okay.
hexes.
So I think I'll move him right here. Then he's still 1, 2, 3 to the artillery.
Yep.
He's a little closer to the other guys that are on the other side of the stream. At least this guy will
Right.
be in command next
Yeah,
turn.
yeah. So that's one more.
So,
yeah. So
good.
that's better
and then
than it was.
let's see if I can move this guy forward. So that is that a steep slope?
That's a steep slope. So
it's
that's going to
plus
be
1 going
plus-
down.
no. Steep slope is plus. Oh, I'm sorry. He's in column.
He's in
my
column.
bad.
So it would
Yep,
cost me
excellent.
1.5 for these guys to come down the hill,
That's
right?
correct. Yes,
Okay.
that is correct.
And then we'll just leave them there, I guess. No, we might as well
Gee,
turn
they can
them.
go all the way to here if you want, I think, because they got enough. They'd be two and
Two
a
and
half to
a half,
turn,
three and a
three
half,
to get there.
3, 4. Yeah, yeah, they
Can
could.
I have them stacked with units that are
Yep.
part of a different command?
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah, it's mostly just have to just remember that
cool.
not to move the whole thing at once unless you mean to.
It's
Okay.
all part of my cunning plan.
Hmm. Um,
Thanks for pointing that out,
Neepas's.
David.
Yeah, no, he was right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um. So, and now would be the time you'd probably better move Neephausen and Cleveland if you're going to. And honestly, you don't really need to, given um, everyone's still all bunched up.
Yeah, I
But
think
just
we're
this
still
would be the
okay.
time that you'd do it
Um,
if you were of a mind.
so it makes sense to keep him on the road, right?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Okay. So he's gonna be like MacArthur. He's gonna come across, splashing
Oh,
across the
yeah.
creek.
And he doesn't even need to have to take a disorder check.
Oof, he's that
Isn't that
good.
awesome? That is, boy.
And
Okay, very good, very good.
we'll flip both of them.
God, look how fast you're going
Voila!
through the turns
I tell
now.
you, I tell you.
Jeez. All right, I think it's back to me to chuck dice.
Yeah, I think so.
There's
36.
another
It's tie.
tie. Yeah, yeah. That is
77. That's the one for us, and
another
it
end turn.
moves the marker forward.
Yes, it does.
And go ahead and take for you've got one more command left, the 71st.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh, those poor buggers. Um, I don't know. I mean, I really don't have any intention of doing anything with them, so I will. Do you? Why don't you go ahead and move your guys?
You know, if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. I learned that from.
Oh, that is so deep.
I'm
Why
just
don't you? Why
just
don't you
saying.
move the guard or these other guys down here that are on the road?
Actually, he's
Un-
probably holding off on the guard because they're already in road order and they can just stay in road order even when we hit the end turn.
Right. That's why I'm giving you all your.
oh, okay. All right. Well, um, uh, I will stay where
It
I'm at.
is
I
it
will
is absolutely okay just to flip and then
flip
just
flip the
declare
unit over.
victory.
There we go.
There you go. All
We're
right,
holding
magnificent.
Chad's ferry.
That's
We're
it.
defending the baggage wagons.
Holding it hostage. All right.
Mhm.
Well, then it's your turn to roll. Then, Eric.
Okay, here we go. Big numbers, big numbers. Oh,
Those are actually not big numbers.
they are not.
Uh,
But
that is
we still won our
yeah.
initiative. We've
So that
got
is one. That is one for you. Now that obviously does not require you to take it if you don't want to, but it is yours.
so we could acquiesce and let you have it.
Yeah, but there would be very little benefit to that from your perspective.
One. So yeah, I will activate the guard and the other independents on this side. So
Okay.
let's see. This independent is in range of how, and this one. So I have to roll for the guard because he's not in range of how. So he's in command. All right. Let's see. Let's so one. So what's the rate with?
It's 4 on the road. It looks like.
Yeah, yeah. It's 4 hexes per movement point.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yep.
Do I have to? Do I have to choose which
Oh, that's a great
road direction?
question. Um, uh, uh, I have no idea how to answer that question. It's
Well,
never
why
come up
why would
before.
you? Why wouldn't you just keep where you're at now? You don't pay for changing facings in road columns.
Actually, that's true. You don't
Yeah.
change for changing facing, so it doesn't matter.
I
But
guess
it is
it's
funny, right? Because which way is he facing right now? Like, no one's actually told us which way we're going. They just told us we were coming in here because R. Kane is an attractive daughter,
There you go. Farmer's daughter.
and some Applejack in the basement.
and let's see. How do I
Well, you still needed to get somebody down to that little blue X, right?
all right. So
Yeah, yeah, that's just one of those odd little quirky bits that you need to think about.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I guess it's when I get next to it, right?
Yeah, what did it say?
Well, you could get one more hex. Aren't we supposed to get like
I think as soon
18
as I become
increments or
adjacent,
something?
Moves adjacent to.
I stop. And
Now that's really weird. Oh, um,
and actually,
I'm,
I'm going to
I'm
just so we don't have a confusion here, I'm going to stop one in front here.
yes, yeah. In fact, I think you ought to be careful about that because looking in the victory conditions, you need to have at least 18 strength points simultaneously adjacent, and if you send them up in road order, they get frozen there. So other guys would have to move up to get into other hexes because you'd be overstacked.
Right.
So actually, you may very well want to consider taking them out of road order either this turn or in
Well,
a subsequent turn.
I don't have enough on this
Okay.
turn.
Well, then you may want to suggest going into March column before you advance, just so it's easier for other people to come up and take the spot. Because you're going to need at least one other unit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's only got 9.
Yeah.
All right. Very
And
interesting.
I think that's going to be it. And I think that's the last. So what do I, okay, I'm just going to keep Hal. He's going to go on to, he's just going to join Cornwallis over here.
Why not? It's probably time for tea.
Yeah. All right. So I guess it's my role.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the last of your formations, right?
So what?
Okay. So now
Everybody has moved.
yeah. All right. So roll away. Another tie.
It's a 9. Doesn't move, and that's an 8.
Okay.
That's one
Still
for
to
us.
us, and
but you can't take it, so you have to give
So
it to me.
I have to give it to you. All right.
Right. Yeah, because everybody eventually gets to activate. So that's just how it goes. All right. Well, I guess it's time to complete the ramble off to the rear here. We'll go ahead and activate the New Jersey Brigade. And most of them will go into route, not all of them. All right. Don't know what I just did there. Hope that wasn't a problem. Good. 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, excuse me. That was the one
That's
that can't.
artillery.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. Not to worry. I just. Okay. Here I am trying to pick up the entire stack and not doing too well. 3, 4. And this guy is going to have to do a pass through, which is too bad, but that's life. So he's going to overstack, but that's just life. That's half. That's 1. It's 1.5. It's 2. It's 2.5. 2 3/4. Okay. And
Do both units make a check, or just the one that passed
yeah,
through?
they both have to. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's +10 for each pass through. Let's take a look. Pretty sure it's +10 for each pass through hex. I would submit there were 2 of them, so it would be +20.
Yeah.
We'll do the moving unit first. He's disordered. And there's that. And then the non-moving unit next. And he's even worse. And there we go.
So they're disordered in road column. So what is the effect of that?
The effect of that is just half movement.
Okay.
I mean, assuming that they don't get themselves
Undisordered.
recovered from disorder
Right.
during their first, their next, during the next time that they're doing this sort
Right.
of activation stuff. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. And I guess that's it. So I think it's my turn to roll now. So I will. Okay, that's going to move us 1 more.
Moves it, and another one for you.
Yeah. Just wanted to remind myself, North Carolina Brigade isn't until next turn. Okay. All right. Well, I guess what we probably should do is activate. Well, I guess that's actually a separate command. It's so challenging when you've got such a screwed up order of battle. The light infantry, I think, is what it's called, which is under Maxwell here.
Maxwell's equation.
Yes, he's given equations. Um, okay. I'm trying to figure out where the rest of them are.
Well, the rest of the New Jersey is
A.
routed, right?
Yeah, I was actually just referring to the LIB units, and
Right.
Well,
actually,
there's two. There's one up
there's
here that's stacked with Maxwell, right?
right, and then there's the one that's just
Yeah.
southwest, and then there's another one who's on the order of battle chart. Oh, he's actually on the order of battle chart, so he's not in the battle. Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure that I had the correct ones there. Okay.
Commander NJB. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. It's weird that we get this generic commander who's actually responsible for the real brigade, and the one he's marked being in control of, he's not actually in control of. It's a little weird, but whatever. Um, all right. Well, I think we'll activate him just because we can, and let's see. They are skirmishers, and they're all skirmishy, so they really shouldn't pay very much to do anything, should they? No.
Except they're Americans.
I don't think that matters. Don't think it does. It might matter, but I don't think so. Okay. Take that.
Take that, Red Baron.
Yes, indeed. Um, okay. Eric, I think you're next.
Are you going to shoot at me with your guns?
Oh, no, that's actually part of a different group.
Oh, okay. Okay. Then I'll
Believe
roll.
it or not, that's actually part of this organization back
okay.
here.
All right. Let's roll the dice.
Don't imagine that I will forget.
All right. That pushed things forward again.
I will not forget.
Okay. That's another end of the turn thing, right? Yeah.
Right. Yep. Moved it on. So we'll go ahead and activate Hartley. And yeah, Hartley is the guy who controls those guns up there. So we'll go ahead and fire. These guys are out of command because, of course, Hartley's way down here. But I don't care. So they're just going to stand there, and then there's no disorder to recovery, so it is time to go to shooting. We are at 3 hex range, so the multiplier is times 5. There's 4 increments there that are firing, so the total is 20.
So it's a 1-to-1.
It's a 1-to-1, and no multipliers that I can think of, because no, it's just 1-to-1. We'll just see what happens. Boom, I say.
68 at 1-to-1.
Now we're talking.
A R.
Now
what is
we're
an
talking.
R?
No. I rolled a 16. You rolled a 68.
Oh, a 16.
I rolled a 16. I whiffed that good. I had an hour to sit there and watch you, and then I couldn't figure out how to hit you when you actually started showing up.
Okay.
That's how this rolls.
Okay.
You like it so far?
I do. It's pretty much like most of my La Bataille games, where
you even roll a
perfectly
16
sided stuff, and I just, doesn't matter. It's 5-to-1, whatever it is,
Doesn't matter.
Just,
Doesn't
huge,
matter.
perfect, beautiful target, and I miss. Yeah.
No.
I've been there. I've done that.
You got that T-shirt, did you?
Yep. It's Machinations of Fate, baby. That's what it says
yes,
on it.
Sir. That is it right there. Okay, now the question is do I want to move any of these units? And I think the answer is sure, I probably do. So his units that are back behind there, let's see, that would cost 2, 3. Yeah, screw it. All right. So they'll go ahead and they will do that for 2 movement points. They'll do that for 3 movement points. And they'll do that for 4.
It cost the Americans that much to move in line?
It costs you 1 to
Oh,
move in
yeah,
line.
to move in
The real
open.
problem was costing 2
To turn.
to change direction. Yeah, that was the killer. And
It
then
only
he's going to
cost
have
us
to.
one for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like French infantry from the War of the Austrian Succession and American infantry have to pay 2 if they're in line. He's got to roll a disorder check +5 for crossing the stream there.
Stream? Yeah.
Oh, he's happy, presumably.
He certainly should be.
And you got a leader there as well, for what it's worth. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not that bad. Just trying to figure out where I want to go with the other guy. Oh, probably just follow him. That's 2. That's 3. And because I don't want to do oblique movement, I will probably just not go any farther, and I'll just leave it at 3. And actually, I will. Doesn't matter, but I'll just leave him there. So they don't need to roll a disorder check, and so that is it for that one. And flip. And so that's that.
okay, time
Congratulations,
for me to throw
everyone.
the dice and see what we get. Here we go.
We just hit end turn.
Yep, 74.
Yeah.
That hits end
And
turn.
it's to you, Michael.
Okie dokie. It won't surprise you that we're not going to do a whole lot here. So that's that one. I'll go ahead and roll for another. Well, the end turn just keeps on hitting.
Now, once you get to the end turn marker, does it affect anything, or you just do your activations, or
Well,
are the activations limited?
Yeah, they're all limited activations now. So most of my units aren't allowed to move still anyway.
Right.
So really,
But if they
doesn't mean that
were,
much.
only if they were in road column, they would move,
Exactly.
Right? Okay.
Effectively, it's kind of like the equivalent of giving what do we call it in La Bataille, where you could give an administrative order.
Right, an administrative march kind of a thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like that. It's like I shouldn't need to send you another order every turn because you're just marching along the road. I don't need to tell you what to do, kind of thing. So it kind of makes a certain degree of sense. Okay, I went ahead and did the North Carolina battalion there, and so Eric, it's back to you.
Woo woo! Party time.
Okay.
Nothing.
There's one
One to
more,
you.
and I think I have 2 left here. Whedon. And then, Dave, why don't you give us one more?
There we go. And
Okay, very good. And then that'll be whoever's left, whatever his name is. Muhlenberg. Looks like you ought to be one of your guys.
He will be soon enough.
Maybe so.
That's
maybe
right.
So.
He's going to be like Benedict Arnold. We just grease his palm with some gold, and he turns that whole unit against.
well, do you want to move Lafayette since this is your last move?
Oh, yeah, Lafayette.
Yeah. Sure, why not?
Another general for
Of course,
single combat.
I gotta find him.
He's there on Webb's Road.
Yeah, I do see him.
Yeah.
So that's 2, 3. or oh no, 4, 5, 6, 7. Damn, you can make good time. 8. Holy smokes! Look at that. Okay, that's pretty impressive. Washington's not freed up yet, or I would move him too, but I can't, so that's okay. Think that may have been it. I think that was all the units, all the formations. So, so that means we are now in the time of the rally phase.
Recovery.
So the rally phase now is a little bit weirder than it usually is, not because anyone's shaken, but because we got all these voluntarily routed guys who can all choose to either move a little farther or not, or attempt a rally. And I'm going to go ahead and keep moving. And that's 4 for all of them, if memory serves. Is that right, David?
Yep, I think so.
I mean, you're the expert on these matters of voluntary routing. I'm just saying.
I wouldn't call me an expert, but let's put it.
Wow, I'm just saying.
I've got some experience with it.
I watched you do it a lot. Okay?
So is it only on their first turn that they voluntarily route that they get to move 8, or is it every turn? So they can move 12 per turn. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, but you think about it. You're not in dressed lines. You're just a mob.
Yep.
And it can take you a good while.
But they can't continue in their next turn now. They can't continue at that rate.
Well, what would they do next turn?
They don't do anything until the rally recovery phase.
Right? Oh, okay. So when the leader chit comes up, they don't. So they're not moving 8 plus 4 every turn. They moved 8 the first time, and then they move 4 in each subsequent rally phase.
No, it's absolutely it's every turn. If we look at page, no, my pages are out of order now. This is a travesty.
Is that true?
Yeah, it is. So here we go. Let's see. This is pages 5 and 6 of the special rules. So let's see. You can decline to perform a rally morale check for a voluntarily routed unit. You can continue to perform route retreat. That's fine. Voluntary route retreat performed during a rally phase is up to 4 for infantry, 6 to cavalry, but units aren't required to move all of those hexes. Units may perform voluntary route retreat during the movement segment of their command's activation in addition to the normal route retreat of the rally phase. Voluntary route retreat performed during a movement segment is up to 8 hexes for both infantry and cavalry. A unit may move fewer than 8. If they so choose. Units performing a route retreat of any kind in their movement segment are considered in command. Therefore, out-of-command units can voluntarily route. A unit can voluntarily route even if activated during a limited activation. The truth is, there's nothing that says you can only do it once.
Okay. Well, we've got at least some time to figure that out.
Yeah.
I mean, we are agreed that they can move 4.
Yeah.
During this one, so then we could always take a look and see where they would be otherwise.
Yeah, I mean it would not have been anything that would have made any sense for me to do if I could only move once.
Yeah,
because that means you'd be faster than I would be on road column than a mob would be.
Yeah,
it doesn't pass the smell test. Now this one, because he's routed, I'm going to have to be careful about where he goes. Uh, Gentle slope, not a problem. Grade is a problem. So if he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, then I need to roll, and on a 0 or a 1, he loses an increment. Well,
Close.
I decided to make that as exciting as I could. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I think that's all the routed units have moved 4 now.
Yep.
And they all, as you've already figured out, all elected not to attempt to recover. They certainly want to put some more distance between you guys and us. So that's that. And think that's it. We head to the maintenance phase and just click the end turn button and everything goes away. Like that.
Voila.
Yeah.
And then I will
Okay.
move the end turn markers, I guess, back up
Oh,
to where they're at, and game
already,
marker
already.
advanced, and
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, my mind is boggled. 2 hours and 9 minutes, and we've made it through a turn.
That's right.
And
Well, it's mostly
and we
because
actually
we
had
don't
some
have
weird
that
stuff.
much combat yet.
Yeah, no, you're
Yeah,
right.
it will probably get a little
Clearly,
stickier next week. Now,
probably
just
so.
as an aside, I'm helping run a fencing tournament next Sunday.
Okay.
So I probably won't be able to join you guys for playing until maybe 6 or 6:30 California time. So that's going to
Mm,
be about 8:30 Dallas and
okay.
9:30 out in the hinterlands of South Carolina. So I will
Okay.
text you guys and let you know what's up.
Okay.
But
Oh, that's great.
yeah. But that's what's going on next Sunday.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm actually looking forward to maybe some combat. Some
Oh
I
no,
get to shoot my
I
guns
see
and
it. I see it
yeah.
starting to happen now that you've just mastered movement so clearly.
Yeah, now the next thing to learn is how to actually
How
how
to
to
actually.
actually do some combat,
Oh
actually
my
shoot
gosh.
something. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. So so all good. Thank you for letting us know about your schedule for next week. I don't know any reason why I will have anything unusual, so David and I can just start and we'll carry on.
indeed,
Um,
probably want to take the clear weather marker off of
oh,
Washington.
oh, thank you very much
Yeah,
for noticing that. Yep, because he's no longer clear.
he's no longer clear. No, he's
Actually, I probably
definitely
should have changed that to cloudy. That was probably one of my
cloudy
options.
indeed.
That would have made more sense. Um, so I was mentioning a book earlier. I
Yes.
think I'll mention it as long as we still have folks listening. I don't know. I've been on a Civil War kick here lately, so I've been playing a lot of Civil War. And I found this book called Civil War Infantry Tactics:
Okay.
Training, Combat, and Small Unit Effectiveness. It's by a
Hmm.
guy named Earl J. Hess.
Hmm.
And he starts off right away. The book's about 7 years old. He starts off right away by saying that when he was going to school, he was very much given the impression that the development of the mini ball or the mini ball or
Right.
however you're supposed to pronounce that totally changed everything and really made all those Napoleonic linear formations obsolete.
Right.
And he said, yeah, except it isn't true.
Hmm.
I mean, yes, it's true that you could fire more accurately a lot farther because the rifled musket, because the ball expanded when the gunpowder exploded, and that's what engaged the rifling. So you didn't have to hammer it down the way you did with an old style rifle.
Right.
So you could fire it faster, and it was rifled. But realistically, nobody's hitting anybody at 400 yards.
Correct.
It's not, in fact, how combat was conducted. They said, honestly, Napoleon wouldn't have felt out of place on a Civil War battlefield. The things he would have seen would have looked all very familiar to him. And I'm
Right.
like, this is really interesting to me because yeah, I mean, I kind of grew up with this idea that um, that the Civil War was the last war, certainly the last American war, where we kind of even had a notion of lines and columns.
Right.
Except here I am reading, and they're going through lots and lots of detailed discussion about evolutions and all the manuals that all these officers, who are, of course, mostly amateurs,
Right.
all had to read. And it's really been a fascinating read because he actually takes you back through the history of linear combat,
Mm-hmm.
back to back to the tercios actually,
Wow.
back to the 30 years war, and he kind of briefly sketches how it changed as time went by. And of course that sketches through the 7 years war, through the era of Napoleon, and then he spends the rest of the book um, talking about the Civil War. And yeah, I mean, he talks about everything in great detail. I mean, it's just the kind of just crunchy stuff that I was really enjoying. Um, and and I love the fact that he actually tied it back to the history
Huh.
of what's going on before. So I don't know. I got it on Kindle. It was $19, um, but I am enjoying it. And
Sounds interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it
yeah,
does sound
so
cool.
Now,
Earl J. Hess.
okay, cool. Now back to the units being routed,
Yeah,
a voluntary route.
yeah.
Okay, and the regular rules, 1910A.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
at the end of that paragraph, it says, "Unit may voluntarily route, regardless of its organization, morale state, except that it cannot already be routed." And further down, in I think 1910, I think it was in C.
Yep.